Who would win in a fight between Thanos and Superman? I'm going with Booster Gold. Booster Gold.
Hey, what's up, guys? So we are Tracy's. If you didn't know about us, now you know. We're a group of geeks, nerds, experts on comics from the Caribbean, and we like to talk about stuff that's active in the comic book movie world. Today's topic of discussion is going to be surrounding that meme that we've seen with Superman and Thanos. I have John Wayne Tracy with me. I'm Slut Tracy. For obvious reasons that we can't discuss here because we're keeping it PG. You didn't see John Wayne on the last one, so I'm going to let him introduce himself.
All right, hi, I am John Wayne Gacy Tracy. I am a comic reader and a professional jackass and a Superman fan, but a comics fan all the same. And I'm gonna try right now to convince you that we're really underestimating the sense of scale between the two companies and the two characters. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think we have to start with a baseline. So the meme needs some qualification because there's various versions of Thanos and various versions of Superman that we can look at, and depending on how you pitch them and the writers, then it's two totally different outcomes. So just to be fair, I'm gonna go with pre-Infinity Wars Thanos, just before he got the gauntlet. Because if the gauntlet's in play, there's no way that Thanos can beat, that anyone can really beat him, as we saw in the movie. So before the gauntlet, just Thanos. Which Superman are you choosing?
All right, I was thinking about it, and I think it would only be fair to choose movie Superman, because if we pick any of the comic Supermans, there's that sense of scale between the two mediums, where you have to compare either comic versus comic or movie versus movie. So my choice of Superman was entirely dependent on your choice of Thanos.
Well, and to be fair, I'm gonna admit, like, Superman 1,000,000 is the only Superman I think that can.
Yeah. Well, really? Okay. Okay.
And I have my reasons, which we'll get into. So I'll let you start with your Superman. Let's go with his powers, and then I'll do Thanos.
Okay. So we need to divorce two things, as I mentioned earlier: comic book Superman and movie Superman. And there is a sense of difficulty in conveying the scale that we see in comics versus the type of scale that we see in movies. Now, the DC universe, for all its attempts and missteps, does a fairly good job at conveying Kryptonian strength levels without veering into very strange and confusing territory. And when I say movie Superman, I'm obviously not talking about Christopher Reeve Superman who can fly backwards and break time. That's much closer to a pre-crisis Superman. I'm thinking more Superman Returns, and this current DCU attempt. Well, rest in peace. This current DCU attempt of trying to represent Superman's powers on film. This Superman, I think, comes really close to as the Superman that you would see if you would pick up any comic from off the shelf, and he's not facing an event level threat. We're talking not necessarily faster than we're talking not necessarily faster than light travel, but we're talking supersonic speeds. We're talking about high-level combat reflexes. We're talking about the whole range of physical durability, mental durability, and planning that we see from Superman in terms of seeing it on the comic book panels. And I think that if you were to put that up against Thanos, understanding that Superman may not necessarily have the full trove of powers that we see on every comic page. We're not going to see from New 52 Solar Flare appear in the movies. That's not something that's going to connect with the audience. But what we typically associate with Superman, faster than a speeding bullet, leap tall buildings, and general strength of wow feats, those wow moments. You're going to see that on film. And it's hard to compare that against what you're going to see in a Marvel film. So if you were to compare the two, given Superman showings, especially in, let's say Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel gives us the best showing because we get to see it against other Kryptonians.
Right.
I can't see any way that Thanos could have a fairly good showing against him.
So, well, why I didn't say explicitly the movie Thanos is because the movie Thanos doesn't delve into a lot of his past. He took the Power Stone from Nova Corp, and we didn't really get to see what he was like without the stone. So I have to lean on what the Infinity Wars, because Marvel does a very good job of paralleling their comics, MCU, their comic powers, which they draw from Ultimate Marvel with a little dash of 616. The book. So I'm going to assume that Thanos is what he is in the comics. And for people who don't know, Thanos is what we would call an Eternal. An Eternal is a special type of cosmic being. And he's not just an Eternal, he's a mutant.
Mutant Eternal, yeah.
His mutant power is the ability to absorb cosmic power and put that into his body for various effects. So what Thanos has going for him is he's telepathic. He can manipulate energy and create energy blasts. He's super strong, durable, immortal. And he has super strength, super speed. So to me, it's a fair fight. There's just little variances in their powers and little tricks in their powers. And then I have one reference that I can draw to that would that might help skew the panel. So I'm going to put mine out there. So first of all, Superman's weaknesses have always been telepathy and magic. Right? And Thanos is able to wield magic energy. That's why he's so good at the Time Stone. He's probably on par with Doctor Strange, which is why the Sanctums was set up, because they knew about Thanos and his thirst for the Time Stone, and why they went to such lengths to protect the Time Stone. He may not be a Sorcerer Supreme, but he can wield magic, and Superman is very susceptible to that. And he's a telepath. So the two weaknesses that Superman has, Thanos has powers to counteract them and manipulate them.
Okay, that is fair. So anytime I hear that people refer to Superman's weaknesses as telepathy and magic, I think, and I'm trying not to stray back to the books, I'm trying my very hardest. Now, it is, at least within the DCU, we can see that he does have some sort of weakness towards telepathy. At least he has not displayed any resistance to it. We haven't seen the effect of magic on Superman, have we? Seen the effect of magic?
Movies and in the animated series we do.
Yeah, in the animated series we do. Now, the issue with magic and telepathy is that Superman has actually grown, in at least throughout time, grown resistance towards telepathy, because obviously you can't write a Superman novel and have a Superman book or any title and keep his powers as a fixed thing throughout the years of publication. But Superman does actually have fairly good resistance. He has developed fairly good resistance towards telepathy. Now, the magic thing is not that Superman has a weakness to magic, is that he has no resistance to magic.
Right.
He's as susceptible to magic as anyone else is.
What I think is the caveat for me is it's going to boil down to the intelligence level. So Superman is honorable, he is the Boy Scout, but time and time again, especially when you put him up with characters like Batman, he's a farm boy. And no offense to farm boys, but he ain't have no master's degree in nothing else. One is a journalist. He's a storyteller. And Thanos has not just the difference between Thanos and let's say Darkseid is that Thanos is extremely calculated and he's ruthless. So he ain't hesitating, but he's honorable. We saw that in the movie. He has a sense of honor and a sense of morals. He's not gonna do I'm gonna kill Lois Lane to get at you. He's gonna do I'm coming for you. I'm coming to have fun with you. And one of the things that I want to reference is many years ago, Marvel did this Marvel versus DC matchup where they paired various heroes to fight each other.
And comics.
Yeah. And what I loved is Hulk fought Superman and gave him a really fucking hard time. Like Hulk beat his ass to a pulp, and it was just because Hulk is fucking stupid that Superman was able to get the upper hand with an energy blast to beat him, but it came really close, and Superman got his ass handed to him by sheer brutality. And Thanos has that brutality because he took out Hulk in like a minute. So I think brutality and strength-wise, him and Supes are going to be neck and neck. And it's in little details like Thanos' twitch to his brain, his sharpness with his brain, assessing his enemies, going hard. I think that's what's going to give Thanos an edge over Supes.
All right, that's fair. I think in approaching this, you always have to ask, you always have to set the conditions in which they're going to face each other. Mm-hmm. Now, if you had said, Ian, that Thanos has time to plan at any point in time in this discussion, I would give up. I would give up. I wouldn't even bother.
Brawl too, because Thanos thinks on his feet, man.
That's the thing. We never get to see. I mean, we do get to see it. It's not very often, but the unleashed Superman, the "this ends now" Superman. It's a joke that I have running with a friend of mine. Anytime Superman says "this ends now," it really ends now. Yeah. We never get to see that really unleashed bit of strength from Superman, and I don't think we saw that in any films.
No, we seen it once or twice.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen when you get in there.
That man won't quit as long as he can still draw a breath. None of my teammates will. Me, I've got a different problem. I feel like I live in a world made of cardboard, always taking constant care not to break something, to break someone. Never allowing myself to lose control, even for a moment, or someone could die. But you can take it, can't you, big man? What we have here is a rare opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am.
Now, we can see Hulk has no upper limit, and Hulk at his best is a planet buster.
Yeah.
We very rarely get to see him do that. Superman on a regular day should be a planet buster. If you compare Hulk to his many equivalents in Marvel, Hyperion, Sentry, Gladiator, I could say Blue Marvel now, even though he's lesser known. Hulk doesn't show up on that level on a regular day.
No.
He never does. So when you see these versus company fights, or when we try to have these discussions as well, it's really hard to ground where is everyone's base level. So I think
they're on Earth. They've just come toe to toe. There's no time to plan. They're both just about to go head-on collision. And as Anthony Marr says, let him have his fun.
All right. Now, I'm supposed to be arguing for Superman, but I don't see Cal besting Thanos in terms of a hand-to-hand fight. The the majority of the fight is not going to be a trading of punches. I don't see how that would work. I don't think that either of them, I mean, Superman may start throwing punches because that's what he does, because he believes that he's one of the strongest there is.
Yeah,
So,
Justice League, we know Batman is the brains behind the
yeah, we know that. But we also underestimate Superman's intelligence. Superman is not much less intelligent than Lex Luthor, who is, I think he's DC's number 4 or something like that.
I think he's number 3.
Yeah, there's Dr. Tomorrow.
Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, Mr. Terrific may be a bit beneath.
Lex?
Not much. Yeah, not much beneath Lex.
Mr. Terrific is up there. So it's Mr. Terrific, Brainiac, and
Brainiac is like the only level 12. So
yeah, and then the guy who tells Lex to stop looking for the death equation. What's his name?
Oh gosh,
I forgot. It's them and then Lex, and then everybody else falls under them.
Yeah, but Superman is not. I mean, at least depending on what's that? He's not stupid. He's actually quite intelligent. You know, we often get to see these off-story issues of Superman doing something with technology, some Kryptonian technology bullshit. You know, we get to see little bits of that. He's not necessarily Lex in terms of raw cunning and planning, but Superman's not stupid. So not saying that he's necessarily as smart as Thanos. Thanos is definitely one of the minds in all of the Marvel universe, all of the Marvel multiverse. He's up there. Yeah. So, you know, so I don't see it being a battle of fists. It's going to be a battle of brains combined with whatever talents that they do have. I don't see Superman, you know, again, seeing that they just met each other and they know that they have to fight. I don't see Superman 10 minutes into that fight still trying to overpower him.
I mean, he's trying to get sneaky.
What can I do? What can I do to Thanos that he can't do to me? And I think the issue, as I mentioned previously, is speed. Thanos, his combat reflexes are amazing. He has
as fast as Superman.
I mean, I think he may, in terms of combat reflexes, okay, so in DC, the person in the Justice League with probably the fastest combat reflexes is actually Wonder Woman. Yeah, she does. Superman actually does not compare to her combat reflexes, but Wonder Woman is not a faster than light traveler.
Right.
So I think it's pretty much the same situation there. Superman can fly, can try to blitz Wonder Woman, and he could probably try to tackle and overpower with speed. But if it's going to be a strike, it's not going to work out. So I don't see that whole trading of blows. Now, as far as I understand, Thanos's actual speed is probably enhanced human.
It's enhanced.
Yeah.
It's enhanced. It's not even human. It's enhanced for Titan.
Yeah.
So he's fast, but he's not like Superman fast.
Yeah, he's not.
But didn't you think Thanos would rely to his energy absorption to tackle that? We didn't see any of that in the movie because he was relying on the gem.
And I'm actually wondering if we, as you mentioned, we never got the true scale of non-gauntlet Thanos' powers. We only know that he's durable.
To take out Nova.
Yeah.
And this wasn't nowhere. Nova Corps is built to protect that stone. So, you know, he must be able to throw down. Mm-hmm. But he's also, I think he's just a sick fuck, and I think that's going to contribute to, like, he has an axe in his chest, could barely talk, and whispers to Thor, next time go for the head. and Kal-El, he don't have that. I mean, I've seen him angry, and like I've seen him go berserk, but he don't have that sociopathic, like, yeah, I'm dying with a sword in my chest, but you know what? Gonna fuck with you anyway. And I think that would be the trick, because Thanos gives no fucks. And every enemy that Superman, I think, has faced has given a fuck. Even Darkseid. I think the only real sick fucking DC universe is Granny Goodness. She's a piece of fucking work.
Yeah, she's quite evil. She is quite evil. Okay, so we're looking at
afraid of her.
Yeah, she's actually quite evil.
Like, I remember this.
Everyone in Apocalypse of New Genesis has a special hatred for her.
Yeah. You ever remember the cartoon? Like, my favorite Granny Goodness memory is when she has the guy who can escape from anything, Mr. Miracle.
Mr. Miracle, scot-free.
His his best friend is on a slab with a axe swinging.
Yeah.
And he's mouthing off to her, and he calls her an old hag, and she's just like, "You wound Granny." Granny wound you, and I'm like,
I can't remember who her voice actor was, but they killed it. Every line from her was just magic.
With her whole setup of Mercy, her dog.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is like, kill it. There's no room for Mercy in Apocalypse, and she's like, you're right.
Yeah.
So I don't think Soups has faced a mind that is as ruthless and as desperate to win. Because when you add desperation, it makes you do some unscrupulous things. And Kal-El isn't built for unscrupulous.
But I don't know. I think Superman has a lot of people in his rogues gallery that, I mean, not a lot of people, but a handful of people in his rogues gallery that are near that dangerous. Hank Henshaw. Hank Henshaw is broken. His mind is completely broken. His first appearance, at least, you could still tell there's that bit of a man who is still inside there. But as publication dates go, Hank quickly degrades. Zod is actually quite Zod and Ursa are actually quite evil. they're actually quite evil. They're not sadistic like Granny Goodness, but they're quite.
But that's sadistic, and what makes it worse is that he thinks that he's right.
Yes,
I think that his tenacity
mm-hmm.
and the fact that not only can Thanos absorb cosmic energy to redirect as a blast, he can use it to heal himself. And we saw that he didn't use his stones to heal himself from that axe. That was him.
Mm-hmm.
That's an accelerated healing factor. So I think even if Superman is swiftly punching him, he'll still be able to heal.
Yeah, it's not going to be that. It's going to be Superman attempting to dump him into a sun. It's going to be that.
But if he does that, he can absorb the energy, which is what, like, Thanos' mutant power of that cosmic energy absorption is really the thing. Like, so his magic, okay, he'll have to know that Superman doesn't have magic.
Because he doesn't rely on magic very often.
No, but Thanos also shows when he was talking to Tony Stark that he don't go into a situation without knowing everything. That whole line of "you're not the only one cursed by knowledge." I don't think
we've already decided the conditions are that they're now meeting each other. They know they have. Because if he has time to plan, I will quit. He has already won.
Would he be able to draw on his telepathy then to see what Soups is planning? If I'm in a fight that's desperate and I'm being beaten and I am a telepath, I'm gonna go into that mind to see what the next step is.
What was the source of his telepathy in the movie? Was it his or was it the stone?
It wasn't clear in the movie. In the books, it's a power of being.
It's his. I know it's his in the books. In the movie, I don't know where it originates from.
I would say they would use the books as the power base. Like, he's an Eternal, and they've set up Eternals. We've seen Uatu and the Watchers in MCU, so the Eternals exist.
Okay, all right. So I think at least at some point there's going to be that, because so a DC reference point here is Superman versus Martian Manhunter.
Interesting.
Yes. Martian Manhunter is a grossly underrated character.
People asleep on John.
Yeah, they badly. And I'm not even talking about incarnations of Martian Man. I'm not talking about Thanos, that is, his fully released form and his madness and everything. I'm just talking about regular, calm mind Martian Manhunter. He is, at least since the 80s, I don't know how his powers have been represented before that, he is at least as strong as Superman in terms of the ability to trade blows.
Mm-hmm. He can
yeah, he can trade blows. He has been shown on panel to have feats of strength that are comparable to Superman, moving Brainiac's planet-sized ship along with Superman. He is up there.
And I think it would lend his morphing ability would lend itself to that as well.
Yeah, so if we're talking Thanos, who has, assuming that in the movie he does have telepathy, and assuming in the movie that he is at least half of what he is represented in the books, you're talking about a fight between Martian Manhunter, a slightly weaker Martian Manhunter, a more durable Martian Manhunter versus Superman. And if we're saying that, I can see where one would be somewhat convinced that Thanos has the edge. But let's see, do you believe that Superman is going to act in character, so to speak, for the entirety of the fight? Because it's not going to be a short fight. It's going to be a very long one.
Yeah. I think, yeah, we're safe to say that the boys are gonna go to the nth extreme to win, especially the extinction level threat that Thanos poses. That's gonna activate Superman's lack of chill.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's talk about Marvel feats. I mean, I can talk about DC feats, but let's talk about Marvel feats. Let's talk about Thanos' showings against his Superman adjacent foes in Marvel Universe. Who do you think, at least in Marvel, would be a good representation of how that fight would go against Thanos?
I mean, he's gone toe to toe with the Gladiator and won. And the Gladiator's whole power construct is bananas. As long as he thinks he can win, he wins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, he's and he won. Like, it's even Gamora. Gamora would not have told Quill to kill her if they had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And Quill is extremely strong. We saw that in how he took out a godlike entity, and a Kree. He killed a Kree. So he's not a joke, Quill. He's just a bit impulsive, which is his human nature. But for Gamora, who's very proud and loves life, like that's why she ran away from Thanos, to be like, you're probably gonna have to kill me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It speaks volumes of the potential. And then just that fight with the Hulk. Like, the Hulk has been the Avengers trump card.
Yep.
Yeah. Hulk has destroyed Loki. Loki and no small fry.
Really? Yeah.
And for the Hulk to be like, Ebony Maw didn't even flinch, and Ebony loves him sometimes.
And let's not talk.
Like,
let's not talk about that. You're gonna hit me. Thanos' Black Order was grossly, and they're also all very strong. So to see how they got jobbed out in the film, this is just I still love the film. I loved it dearly. Yeah. But to see how they got jobbed out in the film compared to what their actual power scaling is in the books was maddening. But they
did it smarter, with the exception of Corvus Glaive.
Yeah.
It was just luck that made the winner.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was Peter being smart and witty enough to try some shit, and if they went toe to toe with Ebony Maw, they'd have died. All of them.
Probably, yeah.
Because he's another one that don't have no kind of nothing.
He's a granny goodness. He's a granny goodness.
Let me tell the man how it's like, if I carry the stone on your irritating person, there would be punishment. I'm a West Indian, I know about that. That judgment on your father and I'm not your mother gay. That look, that waist and look.
Yeah.
He was prepared to actually cut into ribbons.
Really, he really was.
But yeah, Thanos, there's very few people that can stop Thanos. And I think that, which is going to be interesting in how they play the next movie out. There's going to be some trickery. That's the thing that you had to come real fucking good with him.
Yeah.
And I think the matchup between him and Superman, I think Thanos is that righteous edge that he has. It's almost like the gladiator. What I'm doing is right, so I will do anything. The man built a moon at fucking
an entire moon, which was lovely.
yeah, so he has no chill. Like so he will have no qualms pulling down the moon and wetting Superman with it and destroying Earth in the process because he just don't care.
Yeah,
you know. So, if Superman had an Infinity Stone, he's going and is the calm that Thanos has under pressure that's chilling. Like the way that he treated Scarlet Witch with kindness and compassion and like, I just lose the person I love. I know you feeling, but fuck you then.
but it speaks to two radically. I mean, it's from the same seed, but two radically different representations of Thanos that we see between the movies and the books. When you look at Stalin's Thanos, you get more that sense of that mad villainous titan. And when you look at Thanos in maybe Annette Lanning's big space epic in the mid 2000s, you get more of a sense of that more generous, compassionate, noble Thanos.
But
so I feel like
Gamora, power you got from me.
Yeah.
Generosity you got from me, but you don't know how to lie. I know.
Yeah. So that was a really good line.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And I think the catch-22 with Thanos is that sense of nothing can stand in his way. I mean, the fight with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, and the Guardians, they really could have gone further with it, I think. But Strange knew that on a one-on-one they wouldn't win.
Yeah.
And Strange saw something in that reality, which is why he gave up that stone. Because he's a selfish prick. So he wasn't giving up that stone. I think the reality where every other reality that he saw was where he didn't give up that stone. And Thanos took it.
Yeah.
And killed them all. And
I think that's the story. That's the story that you're going with.
Yeah. And so you have magic, because Strange was able to subdue him without the time stone. Like, he was able to latch onto him with all of the images. So if he had done that again, and Tony went in, and Peter with Iron Spider went in, and even Quill, they would have gone, if they could have won, they would have won. So when these characters who, Superman is only one person. We had 5 characters and an empath. Who would you, and Benedict was like, no tricks.
Yeah. So you see that's the thing, and that comes back to the power scaling issue that I have. Superman in the DC, again, we have the lifting of the Kryptonian Island and Superman Returns at least. But in the rebooted DC universe, Superman doesn't have any massive power showings, and that's the unfortunate thing. He's probably more in line with the early New 52 Superman than he is with the Superman we know who pulls planets and takes detonations that can break galaxies, than the Superman that we're watching on screen that we will probably never see again. But
what's that? I missed that. What do you mean that we're never going to see that Superman again?
I don't know where we're going forward from here in terms of the DC universe.
They couldn't get back their production budget.
I don't know if they're going to. I don't think we're going to see that again. I mean, this is my speculation. I have just that.
And totally unrelated and side note, I'm actually looking forward to Cavill versus Tom Cruise in a new Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
I love that is the man from Uncle versus Ethan.
It's going to be great.
My favorite part is in the trailer because Cavill is known for this deadpan.
Yeah.
It's like a monster now. And it's just when he looked at his sleeves and he's like,
yeah.
Test the shit, pull.
I mean, just this is we're gonna do a short aside here. All right. I'm certainly not Tom Cruise's biggest fan. All right, but this is one franchise.
He's done well with.
Well, he's done. It has been. It's not high cinema, sure, but
Yeah.
it has been continuously entertaining from the time he arrived. From Mission Impossible 2 onwards, it has been a very entertaining ride.
I love that he lets himself get hurt. You know, like he's not infallible. Like he's take some hits and things.
Yeah.
I also enjoy his relationship with Simon Pegg. So like in that preview, when the girl is like, "What is he doing?" and Pegg is grabbing her, like, "Come along, there. We just don't look. It's okay."
But let's not stray too far.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's.
I think we need to call it a vote. Given everything we've discussed.
Okay. All right. I just want to raise one more point. All right. You know, in lieu of us not seeing these great power showings from Cal in the movie universe, but definitely seeing, at least on page, we have seen Superman tangle with people who would really give Thanos a hard time. Imperex is a problem.
Yeah.
At least Doomsday has died several times is a problem. At least not in terms of, you know, that's just raw power. I think that's someone who can do significant damage to Thanos in terms of physical, you know. But if I had to, because I wasn't sure that the Superman I had to pick was movie Superman, it would have only been fair to me. If I had to pick movie Superman versus Thanos, I am willing to concede Thanos.
See, I think so.
Yeah.
And for me, with the exception of Superman 1,000,000, and it's just the little things.
This is a different argument entirely. We're going to get into
it's
that's a different argument entirely.
Thanos' mutant ability to absorb energy, cosmic energy, and heal, I think is what the only thing I can see really hitting him for 6 is that Omega Beam.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'll have a defense against Doomsday's Omega Beam.
You mean Doomsday, or you mean Darkseid?
Darkseid.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
He has no defense against that, but no one does. That's a trump card in DC Comics. No one has the defense.
It would take a lot, especially seeing if 5 heroes who individually at moments in the movie were winning, and Strange was able to concede, saying, "He's just gonna kill us and take the stone off my corpse." And there's 5 of us. One Superman is not going to be enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm totally willing to concede that movie Superman loses. If we need to talk comics, I am not going down that easily at all.
Well, I think we have movie Superman versus movie Thanos with some assumptions. We have a Thanos win. So what do you think? Comment below. Let us know what you think. Who do you think would win? And give us some examples. Don't just be like, Superman is the baddest. Like, I mean, one piece of kryptonite that
no one ever says that. I'm a Superman fan. No one ever says that. So don't worry, that comment won't be there.
So yeah, let's see. Tell us what you think in the comment section below. So we are the Tracys. This has been Thanos versus Superman. I'm Slut Tracy.
Join me in Gacy, Tracy.
And we'll see you in our next episode. Probably for a Deadpool group session where you get to meet all of the Tracys. Because I feel like Deadpool deserves an orgy of Tracys.
I think this is just you wanting to have the orgy. But okay, fine, I guess.
I mean, my moniker.
Well, just saying.
All right, guys, let us know what you think below Thanos versus Superman. And thanks for spending some time with us.